such dreams they were not good. He dreamed his bower was full of white swine, his bride bed full of blood. Then up he called his merry men, by one, by two, by three. Now ride we to fair Margaret's bower, by leave of my lady. When he came to fair Margaret's bower, he knocked at the ring. So ready were her 7 brothers to let sweet William in. Oh, let me see the dead, he cried. Oh, she looks wondrous one. He oft times kissed her lily white cheeks where the cherry red had flown. Then up spoke Margaret's 7 brothers, all in a piteous tone. Go you and kiss your nut-brown bride, and leave our kin alone. Well, if I kiss my nut-brown bride, I do but what I may. I swore no vow to your sister, and I have no debt to pay. But we will give and give like share of wheat bread and of wine, to deal on this her burial day, to deal the morn on mine. Fair Margaret died today, sweet William died tomorrow. Fair Margaret died for pure true love, sweet William died of sorrow. Fair Margaret was buried in the church, sweet William in the choir. Out of her bosom there grew a rose, and out of him a briar. They grew and grew to the church steeple top, till they could grow no higher. There they entwined in a true love's knot, the red rose round the briar.
Master John Stamford of London town died, who read out his will and his legacy spine, to take this bequest for the Bilby craft, so give it me name shouldn't die, and give it to the Arena alive. So they fashioned a lifeboat of Liverpool class, 13 foot from the stem to the aft, with a close reef mainsail on a 20-foot mast, and the grandpa's wish of his life named it Mary after his wife. She went into service in 1916, 63 times from the boathouse's grave, across the shale of Rye Bay, through the teeth of the storm, and into the mouth of the waves. All sailors' lives for the same. Johnny, come home, they all sing from the pier on the 15th day of November each year. And one day to see, she will give up the death, and home will come young Johnny Head. Home will come young Johnny Head. Young Johnny Head had just turned 17, and to serve on the lifeboat was young Johnny's dream. His father was a coxswain, his brother in the crew, and to serve he was willing to die on the Mary Stanford of Rye. On November 15th, over the storm at its height, the Alice of Riga was losing a fight. 7 miles from Dungeness, she was drifting and lost, and the crew prayed and cried to the moon. That's when they heard the maroon. Well, it was 4 in the morning when young Johnny had, on hearing the signal, he left from his bed with his father and brother. They ran like the wind that whips up the furious waves, but there were lives to be saved. Johnny, come home, they all sing from the pier on the 15th day of November each year. And one day to see, she will give up the dead, and home will come young Johnny Head. Home will come young Johnny Head. All out the lifeboat took blood, sweat and tears. They took down 2 hours, must have seemed like 2 years. Exhausted and spent, they set her afloat, and into the barbarous waves rode Mary to Alice's aid. It was 6:45 when the showman lost sight of the Mary as she pitched out into the night. And at 6:51 the Coast Guard he rang, saying, stand down, your lifeboat, my brave, for the Alice is already saved. Nobody knows from that day to this why the Coast Guard would word at 6:11, but the message she kept 40 minutes or more. Well, 17 brave men of Rye rode into the tempest to die. On the terrible morn, and the families and launch crew had waited since dawn, when suddenly somebody pointed and cried, and there in the surf and the spray, the Mary Stanford she lay. Her body was battered and her keel was a bright, no close reef mainsail, no crewman in sight. They hauled her ashore and they knelt round the brae and gazed out again at the main, and the tears they ran like the rain. Then one by one the sea gave up a dead. First Willie Clark, then young Jimmy Head, then Albert and Rob, the 2 cutting boys, and 3 from the Bow family, 9 more sons of the sea. Young Johnny Head, he never came home. He lies out somewhere on the ocean lodge. His comrades lie buried in the churchyard at Rye, and they keep him a space for his bed. One day they'll find Johnny had